A 78-year-old man in Florida died quietly in his sleep last week. It wasn't because of old age or chronic illness. It was what he ate just 2 hours before bed. That simple bedtime snack, something millions of people eat every night, silently triggered a heart attack while he slept. Most folks don't think twice about what they eat before turning in. But for seniors over 65, those late-night choices can carry serious consequences. This story could have ended differently, and so can yours. I get it. We all want to enjoy life without constantly worrying about what we eat. But once you pass 65, things change. Your body doesn't process food the same way it used to. That bedtime snack that helped you sleep in your 40s, it might be quietly stressing your heart now. In this video, we're going to talk about 8 foods you should never eat before going to bed if you're over 65. And I'm not just listing off foods. I'll show you the real reasons behind each one, share true stories of folks who learned the hard way, and give you better options to try instead. These aren't big changes. You don't have to give up everything. Just tweak a few habits and make smarter choices. It's not about being perfect, it's about being aware. And trust me, once you know what to avoid, you'll sleep better and feel safer. Here's something most folks don't realize. As we get older, especially after 65, our bodies go through changes that make nighttime a little more risky. Your blood pressure drops, your heart rate slows down, and your body gets into rest mode. That's all normal. But when you throw in the wrong kind of food right before bed, it can throw that whole system out of balance. Certain foods can spike your blood pressure, cause acid reflux, or make your heart work overtime while you sleep. And the scariest part? You might not feel anything until it's too late. A lot of seniors who seemed perfectly healthy went to bed feeling fine and didn't wake up the next morning. It's heartbreaking, and most of the time, it was preventable. Their nightly snacks were the silent culprits. The truth is, what you eat in those final hours before bed matters. It can either help you heal or quietly hurt you. Let's talk about something that's probably in your fridge right now: cheese. Now, I'm not saying all cheese is bad, but that little slice of processed cheese you put on your cracker before bed, it could be doing a lot more damage than you think. Processed cheese is loaded with sodium and saturated fat. And for folks over 65, that combination can be a real problem. Here's why. When you lie down at night, your body slows everything down. But that sodium keeps working. It causes your body to retain fluid. That extra fluid doesn't just sit there. It moves up, especially if you're lying flat. That's how some people wake up, gasping for air. It's not a nightmare. It's fluid backing up into the lungs. Elizabeth, a retired teacher from Oregon, used to eat cheese and crackers every night. Nothing fancy, just something small before bed. But then the nighttime episode started, waking up breathless, tight chest, sometimes even panic. Her doctors were stumped at first. Then they looked at her sodium intake. Once she cut the cheese from her routine, her nighttime blood pressure improved. The breathing problems disappeared almost overnight. That's the thing about food. It seems harmless until your body says otherwise. And processed cheese isn't just about salt. It also has chemicals and preservatives that make it harder for your body to regulate itself, especially when you're resting. Your heart and kidneys are already working harder as you age. Giving them more to process when they should be relaxing? Not a good idea. Now, if you love cheese and don't want to give it up entirely, there are better choices. A small piece of fresh mozzarella has much less sodium. Or you can go with a few unsalted almonds. You still get something creamy or crunchy without all the baggage. The goal isn't to scare you. It's to give you a heads up. Because a lot of seniors don't realize their evening snack is part of the reason they're not sleeping well. Or worse, why they're putting their heart at risk. So next time you reach for that little cheese square, just pause and think, do I want flavor or do I want peace of mind tonight? And here's a final thought. Your body has carried you through decades of life. It deserves care, especially now. Small choices like skipping that processed slice might feel like nothing, but over time, they help your body work the way it's meant to. Restfully, safely, and that's something worth chewing on. Let's be honest. Who doesn't love a little something sweet before bed? A cookie, a small bowl of cereal, maybe even a slice of pie. It feels comforting. But for older adults, especially those over 65, that sweet treat may be doing more harm than good. Here's the thing about sugar. It gives you a quick hit of energy, but what goes up must come down. When you eat something sugary before bed, your blood sugar spikes. At first, you might feel relaxed, even sleepy. But a few hours later, your blood sugar drops, sometimes fast. And that crash can put serious strain on your heart while you're deep in sleep. Raymond, 71, used to eat a bowl of sweet cereal every night. He figured it was light and easy on the stomach. But after waking up with a racing heart and night sweats several times a week, his doctor gave him a glucose monitor. What they found shocked him. His blood sugar was jumping to diabetic levels within an hour of eating, then crashing by 3 in the morning. That up and down was putting his heart through a roller coaster while he was completely unaware. And he's not alone. A lot of seniors think if a food is labeled low-fat or whole grain, it's safe. But many cereals and desserts are packed with added sugars that mess with your insulin and keep your body from truly resting. This can lead to arrhythmias, elevated nighttime cortisol, and disrupted sleep cycles. So what can you do instead? Try an apple with a teaspoon of almond butter. You get a bit of natural sweetness, fiber to slow down the sugar release, and healthy fat to keep things stable overnight. You'll still feel satisfied without the crash. You don't have to cut sugar completely. Just be smart about when and how you eat it. Your heart does its best healing work while you sleep. Let's not sabotage that with a late-night sugar bomb, because in the end, that cookie might taste good now, but it's not worth waking up at 2 a.m. in a panic. Or worse, not waking up at all. Your evening routine should help you rest, not rob your heart of peace. And this small change, it's one of the easiest and most impactful ways to protect your sleep and your future. Let's talk about something that's in a lot of people's fridges, processed meats. You know, things like bacon, salami, hot dogs, or deli ham. They're tasty, easy to grab, and seem like a harmless snack, especially before bed. But here's what most folks don't realize. Those meats are packed with sodium and preservatives called nitrates. And when those nitrates break down in your body, they turn into compounds that stress the heart. Dr. Michael Miller, a cardiologist, explains that these nitrosamines, formed during digestion, can increase inflammation and oxidative stress on your blood vessels. Your heart ends up working overtime, especially during sleep when your body is supposed to be resting and repairing. Let me tell you about Thomas. He was 78, lived a pretty healthy lifestyle, walked every morning, took his meds, and even stayed away from fast food. But every night, he'd sit down with a few slices of salami and some crackers while watching the late-night news. It was his little routine. Nothing crazy, nothing he thought was unhealthy. One morning, his wife found him still in bed, not breathing. The autopsy showed a cardiac event brought on by elevated nitrate levels. His doctor confirmed it. The processed meats were the trigger. It wasn't sudden, it was a build-up over time. That story hit home for a lot of people. Because let's be honest, salami doesn't come with a warning label. Most of us don't know we're doing anything wrong. But just because it's common doesn't mean it's safe. Now, I'm not saying you can't have protein at night. Your body still needs it, but you got better options. Hard-boiled eggs, a slice of roasted chicken, even some unsalted beans if you want something filling. These choices give you the benefits without the dangerous side effects. Your evening snacks should help your body wind down, not wind up into a state of silent stress. And if you've been reaching for processed meats without knowing the risk, Don't beat yourself up. Just make the change. You deserve to sleep safely and wake up strong. So the next time you reach for that late-night sandwich meat, remember Thomas. And ask yourself, is it worth it? Because here's the truth. What feels small today adds up over time. And with something as serious as your heart, every small choice matters. Start by swapping out just one processed snack. You might be surprised how quickly your body thanks you. All right, let's talk about spicy foods. Now look, I know a lot of folks love their chili, their tacos, their hot sauce. It adds flavor, it adds excitement, and for many people, it's part of family tradition. But here's what you may not know. Eating spicy food too close to bedtime can cause serious problems, especially for people over 65. See, when you eat something spicy late in the evening, it can cause acid reflux. That burning feeling in your chest isn't just uncomfortable. For some people, it can feel a whole lot like a heart attack. And that's the problem. Your body can't always tell the difference. In some cases, it triggers real heart stress through stimulation of the vagus nerve, which connects your digestive system and your heart. Patricia, a 68-year-old from Arizona, loved her spicy tacos. It was her favorite Friday night meal. But one night after dinner, she woke up in the middle of the night, gasping for air with tightness in her chest. Her husband rushed her to the emergency room. Thankfully, it wasn't a heart attack that night. It was severe acid reflux. But the ER doctor gave her a warning. The constant strain from inflammation and disrupted sleep could one day lead to a real cardiac event if she didn't change her habits. Patricia took that seriously. She cut back on the spice, especially at night, and started eating earlier in the evening. Since then, no more nighttime scares. Her sleep improved, and so did her peace of mind. And look, no one's saying you have to throw out your hot sauce forever. But think about timing. If you love spice, enjoy it at lunch instead of dinner. And try switching to gentler flavorings like basil, oregano, or turmeric, things that give you taste without triggering a fire in your chest at 2 in the morning. Sleep is your body's time to repair, not react. You don't want your digestive system in overdrive while your heart is trying to rest. So next time you're planning a late meal, ask yourself, do I want a good night's sleep or a surprise trip to the ER? Because when it comes to your heart, even something as simple as skipping the salsa can make a world of difference. Every bite we take tells our body something. And the message spicy food sends at night is clear. Wake up, react, defend. Give your heart and gut the rest they deserve. Let dinner be the time to enjoy flavor, and let nighttime be the time to heal. Let's talk about that glass of wine or nightcap before bed. For a lot of folks, especially after retirement, an evening drink becomes part of the routine. It helps you unwind, feels relaxing, and may even help you fall asleep faster. But here's the kicker. While alcohol might help you fall asleep, it actually prevents deep, restful sleep. And for people over 65, that effect gets even more serious. When you drink alcohol close to bedtime, it can reduce oxygen levels in your blood while you sleep. It relaxes the muscles in your throat, which can lead to partial airway collapse. That means your heart and lungs have to work harder just to keep you breathing through the night. And for folks with sleep apnea, it triples the risk of low oxygen and nighttime arrhythmias. Howard, a 73-year-old retired accountant, used to have 2 glasses of wine every evening. He felt like it helped him sleep. But after feeling tired every morning, even after what he thought was a full night's rest, his doctor sent him for a sleep study. The results were alarming. On nights he drank, his oxygen levels dropped dangerously low dozens of times per hour. His heart rate would spike, then crash, then spike again. That relaxing drink? It was quietly wearing his heart out. Once Howard swapped out his wine for chamomile tea and started spacing out his meals and drinks, his sleep quality improved dramatically. More energy, clearer thinking, and no more racing heart at 3 a.m. Look, enjoying a glass of wine now and then is fine. But timing matters. If you're drinking within 2 hours of bed every night, your heart is not getting the rest it needs. And over time, that strain can lead to serious problems, even heart failure. So what can you do instead? Try tart cherry juice. It's been shown to naturally support melatonin and improve sleep. Or go for a calming tea, chamomile, lemon balm, something gentle that won't mess with your oxygen. Remember, your body heals at night. It needs stillness, not stress. So before you pour that drink, ask yourself, do I want to relax now or wake up stronger tomorrow? Small choices, like what you sip before bed, can have a big impact. Give your heart a break. Let it rest fully without the noise alcohol brings to your system. Let's talk about caffeine. Most people think of coffee, and sure, that's a big one. But caffeine is hiding in more places than you might expect. Tea, chocolate, soda, even some medications. And while you might think, I had that cup of coffee hours ago, caffeine doesn't just vanish. It can stay in your system for 5 to 7 hours. For seniors, that effect lasts even longer. Here's what happens. You enjoy that piece of dark chocolate after dinner or a cup of black tea while reading. Feels cozy, right? But as the night goes on, your body is still processing that caffeine. It keeps your heart rate elevated, your mind more alert than it should be, and your body from fully relaxing into deep sleep. That disruption doesn't just mess with your rest. It puts real stress on your heart. Take Meredith, a 70-year-old from Washington. She started having odd heart palpitations around 2 or 3 in the morning. At first, she thought it was just stress. But when it kept happening, she got checked out. No serious heart problems. No new medications. Then her doctor asked about her evening habits. Turns out, she was eating 2 squares of dark chocolate most nights. Sounds innocent, but the caffeine was enough to trigger irregular rhythms in her sleep. After cutting out the chocolate, the nighttime episodes stopped. Her sleep improved, and she felt calmer and more rested during the day. Caffeine affects everyone differently, but as we age, our tolerance drops. What didn't bother you at 50 might mess with your system at 70. And when your heart is trying to recover at night, the last thing it needs is extra stimulation. So here's a simple tip. Avoid anything with caffeine after lunchtime. And if you want something warm and comforting in the evening, go for a naturally caffeine-free tea. Chamomile, rooibos, or even warm lemon water can do wonders for relaxation. Sleep is sacred. It's the time your body repairs, your heart rests, and your mind resets. Don't let a tiny square of chocolate or a harmless-looking cup of tea keep your body in overdrive when it should be healing. At the end of the day, it's about awareness. That little choice to skip the caffeine can give your body the peace it needs. And your heart will thank you for it every morning you wake up feeling rested and strong. Fried foods. Let's be real. They taste amazing. Crispy chicken, golden fries, onion rings. They bring comfort, nostalgia, and flavor. But for folks over 65, especially when eaten at night, those fried favorites can turn into serious trouble. Here's what's going on inside your body. Fried foods are high in unhealthy fats and often loaded with salt. That combo causes inflammation in your blood vessels and spikes your triglyceride levels. Now, during the day, your body has some time to deal with it. But at night, when your system slows down to rest and repair, that heavy, greasy food sits in your stomach, raises your blood pressure, and keeps your heart working over time. Let me share Gregory's story. He's 69, from Texas. Healthy guy, never had heart problems. One night, after a fried chicken dinner, he went to bed like normal. A few hours later, he woke up drenched in sweat and short of breath. His wife called an ambulance. Turns out, he'd had a mild heart attack. The doctor told him the inflammation from that heavy, fatty meal triggered the event during his deepest sleep phase. He never saw it coming. Since that night, Gregory changed his habits. He still loves crispy food, but now he air fries or bakes instead. And guess what? He says he sleeps better, feels lighter, and hasn't had a single scare since. So what's the takeaway here? It's not that you can never enjoy something crunchy again. It's about choosing smarter ways to get that texture and taste. Try air pop popcorn with a sprinkle of olive oil and herbs. Bake sweet potato wedges. Steam your veggies and season them well. There are ways to treat yourself without overloading your system before bed. Your heart is not meant to do heavy lifting at night. Let rest. Let your body heal. And next time you're thinking about grabbing something fried before bed, think of Gregory. Ask yourself, do I want flavor for a few minutes, or do I want many more mornings with the people I love? You deserve meals that bring you joy and help you stay strong. It's not about giving up. It's about leveling up how you care for yourself at night. Another thing to remember, fried foods often lead to acid buildup, which can also trigger reflux and disrupt your breathing while you sleep. It's not just your heart that suffers. Your whole system is trying to calm down at night, and that heavy meal pulls it in the other direction. If you've been eating fried food before bed and waking up feeling off, tired, bloated, or just not yourself, this could be the reason. Try skipping it for 1 week. Swap it out. Pay attention to how your body responds. Chances are you'll notice the difference fast. Let's talk about those little things in your pantry. The crackers, chips, pretzels, or even that microwave popcorn. They're quick, easy, and honestly, they hit the spot late at night. But if you're over 65, that salty snack before bed could be doing more harm than you realize. These packaged snacks are often packed with sodium. And here's the thing, your body doesn't handle salt the same way as it did when you were younger. As we age, our kidneys become less efficient at flushing out excess sodium. That means salt builds up in the bloodstream and raises your blood pressure. At night, when your body is supposed to be relaxing, this added stress can increase your risk of stroke or heart attack. Deborah, 75, from Illinois, had no idea her bedtime snack was putting her health at risk. She would eat a handful of crackers every night while watching TV. But when her doctor had her start tracking her blood pressure overnight, they noticed a pattern. Between 2 and 4 a.m., her readings would spike to dangerous levels. It turned out that her harmless crackers were loaded with salt and causing overnight pressure surges. Once she swapped those crackers for sliced cucumbers and a bit of hummus, everything changed. Her blood pressure stabilized, her sleep improved, and she started waking up feeling refreshed instead of groggy and tense. Most people think it's just a few chips, no big deal. But the truth is a lot of small snacks add up to a big sodium hit. And your heart has to handle all of it while you're asleep. That's a tough job for anybody, especially one that's been through decades of hard work. So what can you do instead? Keep a bowl of sliced veggies in the fridge, carrots, cucumbers, bell peppers. Or try unsalted air pop popcorn with a sprinkle of garlic powder or herbs. You still get the crunch without the pressure spike. At the end of the day, it's not about giving up snacks. It's about giving your body a break. Because of the Rail comfort, that's waking up in the morning feeling strong, safe, and ready for the day. Remember, your body does its best healing when it's not fighting off extra salt. Small changes now lead to better mornings later. You've earned that kind of peace. You might not think one small snack can matter, but when it comes to your heart, every bite counts. And once you realize how much better you feel with a little less salt in your system, it gets easier to make those swaps. You're not just snacking, you're supporting your future health with every choice. Let's go back to Walter and Thomas. 2 different men, different states, different routines, but they had one thing in common. They thought their bedtime habits were harmless. Walter enjoyed his cheese and crackers. Thomas liked a few slices of salami while watching the late news. Simple, ordinary things. But neither of them didn't woke up the next morning. They went to sleep thinking everything was fine. And sadly, that sleep became permanent. Their families were left in shock. These men weren't reckless. They weren't ignoring their health. They just didn't know. They didn't know that the foods they enjoyed before bed were creating a storm inside their bodies. Silent inflammation, spikes in blood pressure, sudden heart strain, all while they rested unaware. And that's what makes it so scary. We tend to think danger has a warning sign. Pain, symptoms, discomfort. But nighttime heart attacks and strokes don't always work that way. They can happen in the quiet, in the dark, in the middle of a peaceful night. Now, here's the thing. You don't have to follow that same path. Knowledge is power, and you have that now. You know what to look out for. You know which foods to avoid. And even more importantly, you know what to choose instead. This isn't about giving up everything you enjoy. It's about making one or two smarter swaps. Letting your body rest the way it was meant to. Giving your heart a break. Because a strong tomorrow starts with a safe tonight. Walter and Thomas didn't get that second chance. But you do. So next time you reach for a snack before bed, pause. Think about what your body needs, not just what your cravings want. The choice is in your hands, and the reward is waking up tomorrow with strength and peace of mind. You've made it to the end, and that already says a lot. It means you care about your health. It means you're open to learning and making smart choices. That alone puts you ahead of the game. Tonight, when you head to the kitchen before bed, take a moment. Ask yourself, is this helping my body wind down, or is it making things harder on my heart? Now you know the foods that can quietly stress your body while you sleep. You also know the better options, ones that taste good and support your health. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being present, making small, thoughtful changes that add up over time. Because your heart has carried you through a lot, and it deserves to rest just like you do. So make tonight different. Choose peace. Choose health. Choose to wake up feeling stronger tomorrow. If this video gave you something to think about, hit that like button. Drop a comment below and let us know, what bedtime food are you cutting out tonight? And if you know someone over 65 who could use this info, send it their way. It might be the most important thing you share today. Subscribe for more tips to help you stay strong, sharp, and safe. You've still got a lot of living to do. Let's make it count.